This presentation is for SPCE 619 on the topic of school-wide positive behavior support. And our original prompt, I'm going to read directly from my paper so I know I have it correct. It was school-wide positive behavior support is sometimes considered to be an application of applied behavior analysis, while other behavior analysts see it as watered-down ABA, and still others see it as a conflict with ABA. Consider the fundamental components and processes of school-wide positive behavior support and applied behavior analysis. What do you see the relationship as? Our group members were myself, Catherine Zaleski, Sarah McClary, Lucy Little, and Stephanie Steele. And the purpose of our debate is to discuss the connections between applied behavior analysis and school-wide positive behavior support. Thus, our group examined the two as separate entities, and then we explored any overlaps that existed between the two processes. In this debate, we will flow with an introduction from our group's position and move to back and forth examination of different points that we found as pros and cons for school-wide positive behavior support and for applied behavior analysis. Excuse me. In our closing, our group's position will be stated once again, and in the end, we look forward to answering questions on the discussion board. So as far as rules, let me pull up my timer. They're pretty simple. We'll have our original statement of the group position from our stater, and then the pros and cons will go back and forth. Each person will have 5 minutes to explain their present point. I'm going to use my phone timer every time somebody starts a new point, and I'm going to use hand signals to show the presenters how much time they have left without having to vocally interrupt. So I'll give a 5-minute showing of my hand at first, and then I'll show 2 minutes and 1 minute. And if the presenter doesn't use the whole time, that's fine. If they do, that's also fine. Just either way, I wanted to have a time warning, and I'll use my phone so it's accurate every time. Only one person is going to speak at a time so we can avoid feedback between the microphones and over the internet. And once a point has been presented completely, then the counter argument can be presented. So now that the rules are stated, our debate may begin.
Okay. Our group's position on whether applied behavior analysis and school-wide positive behavior support are one and the same, loosely connected, or in conflict is that we believe applied behavior analysis and school-wide positive behavior support are loosely connected. With that being said, our debate will include the discussion of these critical points to prove our position. On the pros side, applied behavior analysis and school-wide positive behavior support show a need for individual plans and person-centered planning. They work together to improve social, job, and independent living skills. They both rely upon research-validated interventions, and they both rely upon data to increase desired behaviors and decrease undesired behaviors. On the con side, they have different group sizes and settings. Applied behavior analysis training programs are intensive, and school-wide positive behavior support is simpler. School-wide positive behavior support focuses more on the group, and applied behavior analysis is more on the individual. School-wide positive behavior support is endorsed via lawmakers and school corporations more readily than applied behavior analysis. Our group came to this position by researching and reading a total of 10 research-based articles from various well-known journals, including The Behavior Analyst, the famous article from Bearwolf and Reesley from the Journal of Applied Behavior Analysis, the Journal of Positive Behavior Interventions, Focus on Autism and Other Developmental Disabilities, Positive Behavior Support and Applied Behavior Analysis, Exceptional Children, and School Psychology Review.
Okay. I'm Lucy. I will be doing the pros for the debate, and then Stephanie will be doing the cons, so we shall start. School-wide positive behavior support is a positive approach to prevent problematic behavior as well as change it in an entire group of people. Evidence-based interventions are implemented when school-wide positive behavior support systems are brought into a school or a school district. School-wide positive behavior support operates using a three-tiered system. When used properly, 80% of that population will be able to show progress and show success when the first tier is implemented. In addition, with school-wide positive behavior support, 15% of the population who need a more intense intervention would be represented by Tier 2, and finally, the 5% of the population who needs a more individualized behavior plan in order to show progress and success within the school-wide positive behavior support system is the third tier, and that is most closely related to applied behavior analysis. According to Beowulf and Risley, 1968, the process of systematically applying interventions based upon principles of a learning theory to improve socially significant behaviors to a meaningful degree and to demonstrate the interventions employed are responsible for improvement of behavior. School-wide positive behavior support will need to focus on individuals to make the significant change in school systems or a district as a whole, which is where the direct connection to applied behavior analysis lies.
Okay. And so now it's Stephanie, and I'll restart my timer.
Hi, I'm Stephanie, and I will be presenting the cons. So with that, Lucy, thank you for sharing. While school-wide positive behavior support is a positive approach intended for a large population preventing problematic behavior, I think we need to consider that ABA is very individualized, meaning school-wide positive behavior is typically implemented in an education setting where ABA can occur in home, in the community, clinic, or a school setting. Some ABA focuses on groups, while school-wide positive behavior looks to specifically target an individual or just a few individuals. Additionally, it is very important to look at the key component that both school-wide positive behavior and ABA provide intervention to prevent, change, and eliminate socially significant behaviors.
Okay. I'm restarting my timer, and go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Stephanie. Carr and Sidner report that even though positive behavior support systems consider person-centered planning to be one of its core characteristics, this philosophy is compatible with ABA, which, according to that same article, states that ABA has always been fundamentally interested in the behavior of individuals. While school-wide positive behavior support systems is primarily used in school, while ABA occurs in many settings, the core principle of making the individual plans is key to the relationship, not necessarily the setting.
Lucy, as you bring up a lot of good points, that is very true, but I think we need to remember that ABA and SWPBS are used in an attempt to focus on manipulating environmental conditions to produce behavior change. While school-wide positive behavior is done in a school setting, ABA can be done in a variety of locations. As I previously had mentioned, in schools, out in the community, clinic, in home, so that's very important to remember. Looking at this issue, ABA is defined as the process of systematically applying interventions based upon the principles of learning theory to improve socially significant behaviors, while the true meaning behind school-wide positive behavior is the integration of valued outcomes, behavioral and biomedical science, empirically validated procedures looking to enhance the quality of life and minimize or prevent problem behaviors. While a team-based approach is generally used in ABA, school-wide positive behavior requires a much larger group in order to tackle such a widespread issue. In fact, most school-wide positive behavior support interventions are very comprehensive and have a very specific treatment that utilize a variety of requirements in order to make a meaningful change. A meaningful change is very crucial due to the fact that it can be difficult to achieve within a school district rather than just one individual. Therefore, school-wide behavior support and ABA have different approaches to its implementation and training processes. It is important for clinicians to make and develop effective plans that will benefit individuals. When considering ABA or school-wide behavior support, comprehensive research on the behavior change intervention should be researched. Please remember this should be done prior to conducting the intervention.
Okay.
Thank you. Anderson and Freeman in their 2000 article discussed the skills such as social skills, job skills, and independent living skills as things that school-wide positive behavior support can help increase. The relationship between ABA and school-wide positive behavior support systems can be seen in this point, as ABA provides the treatments in which to teach these skills, and PBS provides the areas and environments in which the treatments should be implemented. There are additional similarities, however, between ABA and school-wide positive behavior support. Similar to ABA, school-wide positive behavior support systems rely upon research and interventions which have been experimentally validated. That's according to Sugi and Horner in 2006. There's a code of ethics in ABA that analysts have to follow, as well as core ethical principles, which require behavior analysts to evaluate each practice and intervention to make sure that the intervention is befitting to each client, supported by valid research, and is effective. Similarly, school-wide positive behavior support requires the practitioners to consider if the practice is effective, efficient, relevant, and durable. Another similarity is the reliance upon data to serve as the root of science for both school-wide positive behavior support and applied behavior analysis. Both outlets utilize data to drive the implementation of interventions on problematic behaviors in an attempt to increase desired behaviors while decreasing undesired behaviors. According to Sanford and Oswald, 2003, positive behavior support interventions are designed to be proactive, to prevent problem behaviors by altering the situation before problems escalate, and to concurrently teach appropriate alternatives. In order to achieve the proactive and productive plans, school-wide positive behavior support systems and applied behavior analysis must have the data to analyze the successful or unsuccessful intervention attempts to track any changes in behaviors. Behavior can change in frequency, intensity, topography, or function. The data components are vital pieces of information with which the functions of behavior or why the behaviors occur can be determined. From a functional analysis, proactive plans can be created for addressing such incidents of behavior. Through research, we can see encompassing overlaps between school-wide positive behavior support and applied behavior analysis. In 2000, Anderson and Freeman stated that behavior analysis is theoretical and technological foundation of PBS. This outlook affirms the congruent relationship between the two. Some consider PBS to be the descendant of applied behavior analysis. In 2002, Carr and Sidner even go as far to say that conceptualizing positive behavior support from applied behavior analysis is unsupported by the evidence.
While you make a very good point on how school-wide behavior support and applied behavior analysis are similar, again, they're also very different. While you look at this issue, it is very important to remember that the goal is to help change a socially significant behavior. You must remember that applied behavior analysis focuses on individualized treatments for individuals, and school-wide behavior support focuses on school systems as a whole. It is meaningful for clinicians to remember that school-wide positive behavior oftentimes involves a team-based approach and individuals who are relevant in the individual's life. This could be people such as social workers, friends, family, BCBA, a teacher, or even a speech therapist. School-wide positive behavior also has support of lawmakers and administration, which has happened over the past decade. According to Johnson, Fox, Jacobson, Green, and Mullick in 2006, school-wide positive behavior support has been mandated by some states, such as Kansas, as an intervention tool for school systems to utilize. Other school systems have endorsed a school-wide positive behavior support into their corporations to increase desired behaviors and decrease undesired behaviors. Lastly, please note that school-wide positive behavior support requires no formal teaching, whereas ABA does. There is a significant difference in the amount of training and practice required to implement or design an ABA program from a school-wide positive behavior support system program.
Okay. Through the points that have been made today, I feel that there is an obvious relationship between applied behavior analysis and school-wide positive behavior supports. The position of being loosely related is apparent in the facts that both applied behavior analysis and school-wide positive behavior supports show a need for individual plans and person-centered planning. They work together to improve social, job, and independent living skills. Both rely upon research-validated interventions. Both ABA and school-wide positive behavior support systems rely upon data to increase desired behaviors and decrease undesired behaviors. Finally, with school-wide positive behavior support systems being built upon the foundations of applied behavior analysis, how could they not be loosely connected?
I think the most significant issue to look at lastly between ABA and school-wide positive behavior support is the different training programs utilized from those that occur in ABA. ABA requires and relies so much on data to show the validity, whereas school-wide positive behavior support is much similar, being less analytic than ABA, program design, and producing implementation. According to Johnson et al. In 2006, it should not be surprising if individuals who lack expertise in ABA, like the majority of education and human service personnel who are targeted for PBS training, conclude from presentations that ABA is an inferior approach. We must consider the training used in school-wide positive behavior support programs and the effectiveness of the program that is being designed by someone trained in school-wide positive behavior support. Along with training, we must consider the cost and resources for the intervention. Furthermore, SWPBS can help with changing behaviors for a whole group, whereas ABA primarily focuses on the individual, thus making it two separate entities.
Okay, so that would conclude the main points of our debate, and we'll go ahead and present a summary of our group's position once again.
So, while many good and valid points have been addressed and considered on the pros and cons of whether or not applied behavior analysis and school-wide positive behavior support is one and the same, loosely connected, or in conflict, our group's position is that they are loosely connected. While both school-wide positive behavior support and applied behavior analysis have different approaches to its implementation and training processes, it is important that clinicians make and develop effective plans and decisions that will benefit individuals. It is important to remember with school-wide positive behavior support and applied behavior analysis, the team must work together and all team members are able to express their goals openly. Remember, making sure everyone is trained in implementing the intervention is crucial. Both applied behavior analysis and school-wide behavior support can be beneficial for individualized needs of clients or students. When considering applied behavior analysis or school-wide positive behavior support, intense research on the programs should be conducted prior to implementing any program into a school or clinical setting.
Okay, so in closing, as we explained at the beginning of our debate and in our summary just now, our group has ultimately decided that applied behavior analysis and school-wide positive behavior support should be considered loosely connected. Both do rely on research and do rely on a well-connected team in order to provide significant change in the individual's lives. But school-wide positive behavior support is a more simpler version of ABA that's used on a larger scale of a school district or an individual school. While individuals can be served, as discussed by Lucy, about 5% of the time with school-wide positive behavior support, that's not the same as applied behavior analysis, where frequently the focus is on the individual. By examining the pros and cons, excuse me, and the research about applied behavior analysis and school-wide positive behavior support, our group has found that while the connections certainly exist between the two schools of thought, they are definitely not one and the same and should be individually critiqued as such when deciding on a program for either a school or an individual. So we look forward to answering the questions raised on the discussion board. Again, my name is Catherine Zaleski, and the other group members are Lucy Little, Sarah McClary, and Stephanie Steele. Thank you so much for listening.